Okay, you guys, thank you so much for coming out today for the Healthy Gut and Healthy You lecture. There's a whole lot to be said about your stomach health and gut health. So anytime you have anything you would like to say, just go ahead and jump in. It's being recorded and this will go online, but still, feel free to jump in.
What's being recorded?
The seminar
Okay.
for people who aren't able to attend,
All right.
so they can go ahead and see this at any time. Okay, so fact, 80% of your immune system is located in your digestive tract, making a healthy gut a major focal point if you want to achieve optimal health. So a lot of times when people are sick, I always tell them probiotics and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. But you need good bacteria to help balance out bad bacteria. And then if you're taking an antibiotic, you want to also have that good bacteria because the antibiotic is antibacterial, so whether it's good or bad. So I always try to focus on this. And typically we should just be taking probiotics anyways. I mean,
What is a probiotic?
probiotic is the good bacteria like lactobacillus. It's the good bacteria for the gut. So
And what, you
there's
can buy this
strands
over
of
the-
it.
over
Yeah.
the
So
counter?
when you're buying a probiotic, and I have handouts on it, but you want to get something that has like 30 billion in general, and then also has 10 different strands, so that you have a good like multi-diverse probiotic.
In
So-
yogurt? Is yogurt
Yogurt has probiotics in it. Yogurt can be full of sugar though, so like usually you do Greek yogurt, and something that doesn't have like more sugar content is gonna like make candida or yeast overgrow, which we'll talk about. But yeah, Greek yogurt and yogurt does have probiotics. It's actually, you could take a probiotic, a capsule, and you could put it in yogurt and let it sit, and it'll grow, and it'll reproduce itself and replicate, and like you could get a ton of probiotics out of it. You could ferment food and make your own fermented food and probiotics. So that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But yes, yogurt is the source. So symptoms of imbalance, constipation, and also diarrhea, acid reflux, poor sleep, excessive gas, IBS symptoms, headache, and chronic colds. Okay? A leaky gut. Essentially, leaky gut syndrome, or like your intestinal hyperpermeability, is a condition that happens as a consequence of the intestinal tight junction malfunction. So I think about a leaky gut like a rubber band ball versus a kickball. If we had a really big rubber band ball the same size of a kickball, you can gonna keep the main things in, but proteins, food, bacteria will leak out of a rubber band ball. And a kickball, everything's succinct, everything's together. So leaky gut is like, if you talk to somebody who like has studied functional medicine or integrative medicine like me, we believe in a leaky gut, and your skin will talk and tell you you have rashes and hives, that's a sign of a leaky gut. But literally things leaking into your bloodstream. There are tests that you can take which tells you like if you have like a yeast infection in your bloodstream. We should have about 5% of our gut flora be yeast. If it's all the way backed up to where I can poke your finger and get a yeast in your blood, that should let you know that you got a leaky gut. So a healthy gut versus a leaky gut, we kind of talked about that. Like the junctions are tight, the intestinal mucosal cells are succinct in together. You have immune balance, pathogens are on the outside of the gut instead of on the inside, undigested food particles. A leaky gut, you got all kinds of stuff in your bloodstream, literally, and you have more food sensitivities, more allergies to food. You get somebody who's there's like 45 years old and they're like, I've been eating shellfish my whole life and never had a problem. Now all of a sudden they're reacting to things, and now they can't tolerate things like they used to. So how to heal a leaky gut? Well, there's a ton of ways to heal it. The main thing is to change your diet. Okay, so you want to see what triggers you. Some people have sensitivities to gluten. That's a simple blood test that I could do. Dairy, that's another blood test we could check. Refined sugar, red meat, GMO foods, and nightshades. Nightshades would be like eggplant, peppers, tomatoes. Replace them with non-starchy vegetables, fermented food like kefir, raw cultured yogurt, fermented vegetables, coconut products, and sprouted grains. Stress management, believe it or not, having a lot of stress can cause a leaky gut. So if you're a person who's burning the candle at both ends, that lowers your immune system and it triggers stress, and stress increases your sugar and your blood pressure and puts you more prone to this. Reduce body toxins. So, I mean, we're just eating a lot of toxins, drinking a lot of toxins, breathing a lot of toxins. So if you can, get filtered water. Try to get organic food as much as you can. You don't want pesticides and herbicides and all this fun stuff they're putting in our food in your body. Supplements. So glutamine, that's the most abundant amino acid that you can find. It helps break inflammation big time, and it actually will help to mend the gut mucosal lining. So like that rubber band ball, help to make it back into a kickball. Digestive enzymes, herbal teas like slippery elm bark and saffron tea. And then you want to reestablish the gut micro balance. So that's the probiotics. So that's the good bacteria for the gut. And no matter what, no matter who you are, if you eat in the USA, you should be probably, religiously taking a probiotic. And like I said, you want something that has 10 different strands in it of bacteria, so it's diverse, and something in the billions. Think about your bank account. You go to the pharmacy and it's like millions or billions. Which one would you want in your bank account? Billions, right? If we could pick. 7 signs you have a leaky gut, outside of the fact that it's leaking right onto the ground. And so, number one.
Did you draw that?
No. Number one, a food sensitivity. Food sensitivity is a real big indicator that you have a leaky gut. Where I used to work, we would do an 88 panel test on people, and you could see the whole gamut of different foods that people eat and see if they have an actual sensitivity to it. I do have the stuff here. If anyone's interested in getting it done, it's something you'd have to pay out of pocket for, but if you want to get it done, just let me know. Inflammation, inflammatory bowel disorder. If you have Crohn's disease or you have colitis or ulcers in your gut, it's a pretty good indication that you have a leaky gut. People who have like autoimmune disorders, which we'll talk about a little bit later, they have a lot of inflammation in general. So there's a connection with autoimmune disorders and heart disease and just the inflammation. If you have it in your gut, you're going to have it around your heart also. So zinc is a supplement that has really helped people with like autoimmune disorders or inflammatory bowel disorders to help tighten up the intestinal junction in these cases. So an adult, 50 milligrams of zinc, a minimum of 25 milligrams of zinc a day. Autoimmune disease. Okay, so they're saying there's a whole book called The Autoimmune Solution by Dr. Amy Myers if you're a person or have a loved one with autoimmune disorder. But basically, they're saying that the protein that is found like in wheat is causing the hyperpermeability state in production of zonulin, which definitely increases like the looseness of the gut, or the leaking of the gut. So gluten produces more zonulin, and then that makes, like basically every time you have gluten, and not everybody, but a lot of people have gluten, it breaks down the gut mucosal lining. It literally breaks it down. It's hard to digest, and it's highly, highly processed. And it literally stays in your system for 42 days. So if you ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with some gluten in it, and you had a cupcake, you had a cookie, you had rice, you had, you just consistently having it in your system, it's consistently making your gut more leaky. And it doesn't affect everybody the same, but some people more than others. So you want to be pretty much grain-free if you could, including corn. Corn is like a sister to grains. Rice is like a twin sister. So these are all going to be very inflammatory and cause more digestive and gut problems. Issue is, all these things used to be healthy years ago, but now they've highly processed this stuff now.
What about like granola bars?
Granola bar, yeah. So it's going to be made out of like oats. If you get stuff
Right.
that's gluten-free, then you could be in a better shape. But it's just all the extra sugar and stuff like that. If you make it at home, you'd be better off. But it's just going to depend on the granola bar. It really is. What grains are in it. I know granola bars are considered to be healthy, but not so much.
Yeah,
A lot of
the
stuff is
reason
a
I
lot of
asked-
added sugar, huh?
It's all marketing.
It
they
is.
portray that it's the
It
healthy.
makes
Right.
it like it's, yeah, you got a really good point.
There's
I-
nuts in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like Kind bars. I don't personally eat Kind bars because they have too much sugar in them for me. They still got too much sugar. We just put too much sugar in things anymore, for me, you know. But it's like 140 calories, 28 grams of carbs. I don't eat over 20 grams of carbs in one thing. I just don't. But that's me. Not everybody's gonna do that. Thyroid problems. So, you know, we got all this thyroid disease now. We got people walking around with goiters, Hashimoto's, all kind of autoimmune disorders that did not used to exist or weren't identified years ago. So we know that dairy and we know that gluten definitely contribute to chronic thyroiditis or chronic thyroid conditions. People will have issues with their metabolism. They'll have fatigue, depression, weight gain, and other whole host of concerns, hot, cold, intolerance. And these are the 7 dwarfs of thyroid disease: sleepy, pudgy, cranky, achy, puffy, draggy, and frazzly. So thyroid helps with your brain. It helps with how your heart beats. So it helps with your blood flow, your circulation. It helps keep you warm. It helps break down fat and digest food. So if you have an autoimmune disorder attacking your thyroid from gluten or dairy, and you could just know it and eliminate it, imagine how much happier a person would be if that was their case. Malabsorption. I see this a lot here. It seems we have a lot of people who take in meat. They're not vegetarian or vegan. They're not taking something that blocks the acid in their stomach, but yet they have a B12 deficiency. A lot of that is a leaky gut. That means, again, that you're not absorbing, right? Because if you're that guy in that picture, well, all the gut's leaking out. He's drinking is just leaking back out. So all the nutrients are just kind of going elsewhere. That's why when we're repairing a leaky gut, we use digestive enzymes. A digestive enzyme helps you to digest and absorb the food and nutrients. So when you have like a low D for no reason, you're taking it, you got B12 low, you're taking it, you know, these are things to consider because you shouldn't have issues with absorbing if you have a good, healthy, strong gut. Inflammatory skin disease. So this could be one of the first signs that you have a leaky gut. This is right here, and you might have had this before on your arm or groin or chest or under your arms. But this is a fungal rash. This is literally a yeast rash. And so sometimes when you get so much systemic yeast, it starts to come out through your skin. And if you have this, just let me know, and we can look at labs for yeast and see if we need to treat you orally. But a lot of times people can use a topical or oral cream and get rid of these kind of rashes. But like I said, your gut is going to talk to you. It's going to talk to you through indigestion, through rashes, through burping, through belching, through constipation, through diarrhea, through things, you know, it lets you know, hey, we're having issues. And so do listen and honor your body. Mood issues and autism. So according to a study published in the Journal of Neuroendocrinology Letters, leaky gut has been shown to cause various neurological disorders. Think about a young developing nervous system, and you're giving it something that it doesn't like and it's reacting, you know. Just depends on where it sets up. Maybe other people will have like issues with thyroid. Maybe somebody will have neurological, maybe they're depressed. There's one lady, she was diagnosed with schizophrenia for 70 years. Schizophrenia, okay? And after 70 years, they found out it was a gluten sensitivity. And she just had an intolerance to gluten. Stopped it, all her symptoms reversed. They had her on all this medicine and that. So sometimes, you know, we're connected, our gut and our mind, very much connected. And also the gut, like I told you, 80% of your immune system's there, but also you make a lot of your neurotransmitters there as well. So your serotonin, feel-good hormone, your GABA, you know, which is the anxiety hormone. Okay, or a neurotransmitter. A short story. So one day, the body parts were fighting with each other. Who was more important? The brain said, I'm the most important. I control everything. The heart said, I'm the most important. I'm keeping everything beating. The liver said, are you kidding me? I'm doing the metabolism, excretion, detox, etc. Finally, gut said, I'm the most important. I digest, absorb, protect, excrete, produce hormones, reabsorb, etc. Everyone laughed. So the gut got angry and shut down. In a few days, the other body systems agreed, yes, the gut is most important. So if you're not absorbing your nutrients, we're going to pass away, right? We have to have food. If you're not eliminating, again, you're going to pass away. You're going to be toxic. So the gut is huge, and we do want to make hormones, and we do want to be able to not have everything, we eat stick to us. So gut health affects your heart. So believe it or not, it affects your blood pressure. There's different studies that show high blood pressure is connected to lower bacterial diversity in the gut. That's why we're going to pick 10 different strains on our probiotic. So you want to have fermented carbohydrates that are beneficial bacteria for the gut to release peptins that reduce blood pressure. Obviously, if you have an issue with blood pressure, I'm not going to come and tell you, hey, let's start taking a probiotic. But probiotics are good in general, okay? And it could help balance your blood pressure, okay?
So in other words, I need to kind of keep an eye on my blood pressure and do probiotics.
You want to do probiotics, absolutely, and keep an eye on your blood pressure. But it wouldn't be like, there are times where I will tell you like, hey, for blood pressure, here's an alternative. If I get a person who says, you know what, I'm not into pharmaceuticals, okay, I'm not into it, I want something else, I would never tell you take a probiotic. I would say take a probiotic in general, but I wouldn't be like, this is the answer to this, because this is going to take a long time, and then plus there's a ton of other things that go along with it. I usually choose lifestyle changes first. But if you're doing the healthy gut stuff, you're going to reduce your blood pressure in the first place. If you're getting off of inflammatory food and getting good, healthy food, nutritious food that you can digest and absorb and getting your gut down, then yeah, you're going to be able to go ahead and, have a better blood pressure and overall improve cardiovascular health anyways. So, but it is helpful. You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
It's hard to eat healthy on second shift.
It is a struggle. I mean, I would imagine in my mind, I worked 3 to 11 before. So what I would do is I would just make my own food and bring it. You guys work, 3:30 to 1:30?
Yeah.
So you probably get off and don't go to sleep till 6?
4 or 5.
4 or 5, and then get up and then go back to work, right? Yeah. I mean, if you have like a partner or if you have, time to make your food,
get home at 2 o'clock in the morning and start making a nice healthy meal.
You could.
Then you eat it, and then you gotta go right to bed.
Yeah, it's hard.
I don't know how you guys do.
I worked the afternoon shift years ago, and my wife would make a nice dinner in the middle of the day, or actually not even middle of the day. It was for her and the kids at night. She didn't get home until 5 o'clock, and keep me leftovers for the next day to eat before I came to work.
Yeah.
But now my sleep schedule was much different from yours, in that I would get off at 2 o'clock, I'd be home by 2:30. I could go straight to bed.
Yeah.
I can't.
Most
I
people are
gotta
up though.
unwind.
Most people are stimulated.
It takes a couple
I
hours.
didn't need to unwind. I could go straight to bed. I was up by 10, 11 o'clock the next morning.
You have more of your day to eat and
Exactly.
plan. Yeah, you really do. Or either you have to do some meal preps on the weekend. Like Sunday, just take a day and do 3-4 days worth of food. Crock pot, that kind of a thing. It's definitely it is a challenge. I mean, I get it, and especially what I hear here is the second shift. They order 3 times because there's 3 different overlapping shifts or something, 3 to 11, and then 3:30 and then maybe somebody comes in at 5 to 5 or something. So then there's 3 different opportunities to order out, is what I heard. But, willpower.
And it's pizza.
Right.
Pizza, day after day.
So just dairy.
I don't do it, but these guys, I don't.
Yeah, all day.
It makes you wonder how they're still standing
Yeah.
with all the pizza.
It's just filler.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, it fills you up for a bit, but it slows you down and definitely makes that waistline go up. So there's a direct effect on the health of your blood vessels with gut health. So inflammation in the gut is very bad news for your gut and your cardiovascular health. So like I told you, if you have inflammation in the gut, you're going to have inflammation in your heart. Everybody knows that inflammation in the heart can lead to plaque formation, and plaque formation can lead to heart attack and stroke. So it's the absolute last thing we want to do. So, I mean, if you can make that connection, it might be easier than understanding a leaky gut, heart health, and gut health. So effects on the heart tissue. So there's also evidence that probiotics, which improve gut health, have directly positive effects on the heart. For example, this study describes how bacteria in the Lactobacillus family may produce a protein with direct protective effects on the heart. And in the study, a probiotic protected rats against heart attacks and reduces susceptibility of their heart tissue to injury through complicated mechanism that actually had to do with the hormone leptin. So for people who are usually overweight, they will say in the morning, I'm just not hungry. That's because their leptin level is high and it's telling them, hey, you don't need to eat anything. You got enough right now. So sub-Q fat and visceral fat. So you can see the moderate risk, like the visceral fat is not as bad. This one, the sub-Q fat and the visceral fat are fine. So we got low risk. But here, like the visceral fat is not that bad. So this is the fat that's kind of protecting the organs, and then this is the subcutaneous fat. But here, there you can see the stomach looks the same. But the visceral fat, look at all the visceral fat. So this is fat, you see how the heart is affected in the gut, and you're at high risk when you have that much visceral fat. So the person really doesn't have that much subcutaneous fat, it's all fat that's around the organs. So if the only way you're going to be able to really modify that is by the diet that you eat. And abs, working on abs, it's never a crime. I do it every day.
Well, what is RTP?
I'm sorry?
RTP. It's up on your thing up there.
Click on the back,
Oh,
the back side.
I'm not even 100% sure. I have to look it up.
It's the back side of the VCS.
Very visceral.
VSC.
I
I should say.
cannot, don't make me tell you a lie. I'll look it up though. So belly fat, so increased stomach fat or hidden fat in the abdomen is associated with newly identified and worsening heart disease factors. So they look at the BMI, they look at your belly fat. So like, let's say if somebody's overweight and obese, you're gonna care more about where your belly is more than your body mass index, because that belly fat is gonna be more of an indicator for type 2 diabetes, heart attack, heart disease and stuff, than just where your body mass index is, because the body mass index can be muscle. So dangerous. So we also talked about the visceral fat, which lies deep inside your abdomen surrounding your internal organs. Regardless of your overall weight, having a large amount of belly fat increases like the risk of heart disease, insulin resistance, meaning your body's not listening to the hormone insulin to make your blood sugar go down, and then type 2 diabetes. So if you look here, the comparison to fat and muscle. So we see how muscle, they're both 5 pounds. 5 pounds of fat, it's not as heavy because muscle weighs more than fat, but look how much volume. It's almost like 3 times muscle. So waist measurement. Basically, you're gonna want a belly less than 40 inches if you're a man, and 35 for a woman. It doesn't mean 39 is good. It just means you're not at as much risk. So lower risk would be less than 37 inches if you're a man, and intermittent is 37 to 39.9, and then 40 inches you have a higher risk of heart disease with that amount of belly fat. Okay, again, how to repair. We're going to remove and eliminate foods like grains being probably the number one thing. Replace with healing foods like fermented foods, like he said, the probiotic yogurts and stuff like that. Repair, we're going to use glutamine, digestive enzymes, slippery elm, and then rebalance with probiotics. And I can specifically tell you what to use if you're interested. Another sign would be candida overgrowth. You know how you get a little baby and they get that white tongue, you give them a ton of water to try to get that yeast overgrowth. Well, we get that as adults. And I'll tell people, I'll look and say, oh, you got a yeast infection in your mouth. Well, that means that, like I told you guys, the gut flora has overgrown, come all the way up to the tongue. We should not have that. A lot of people who have this will have those skin rashes that I showed you earlier, itching eyes, mouth ulcers, itchy skin and rashes, genital itching, constipation or diarrhea, and bloating. So a lot of indigestion. All right, so candida is often misdiagnosed condition, and it can keep you sick. A lot of times people will just have more common colds They'll get sicker quicker. They'll be in a group, everybody else is fine, but they're the sick one, you know. They have more fatigue, yeast infections, IBS symptoms, itching, body aches, headaches. And like I said, it's opportunistic, so it's one of these things that it's like, oh, you know, you're stressed out, is something going on in your life? Well, now you have a yeast infection. And it feeds off of sugar. So can diet alone lead to yeast overgrowth? Absolutely. It feeds off sugar. It'll feed off of anything, but its number one thing, fuel, you know, would be sugar. So we would definitely, our society, we're eating like way, like literally, I think 20 to 30 times the amount of sugar that we require. So you take a walk through the supermarket, you will see that there's sugar literally everywhere. I mean, they got sugar in places you least expect it, like processed meat. I mean, they add it to sausage now, sugar. I mean, why would you need sugar there? Tortillas, pasta sauce, salad dressing. I mean, why would you need sugar in your salad dressing? Cereal, of course. But they
Because it's
add
like
it.
salt. It makes everything taste better.
Yep, salt and sugar, you know, and it preserves, you know what I mean? Like, so sugary diet is exactly what Candida needs to thrive. And if you feel like you have this, it's a blood test, and I can test you. Long period of stress. Anyone who's ever suffered from stress will agree that it takes a toll on your body, okay? I never used to believe in stress taking a toll on your body until I went through a lot of stress. My mom was in the hospital for 18 days, and I almost lost my mind. And it did, threw everything off. My sleep cycle, I mean, everything, my energy, everything. And like I said, you can definitely get an outbreak of Candida. So your body goes into a fight or flight because you're stressed out. So usually we look at fight or flight like you're being chased by a tiger, but no one gets chased by tigers anymore. So usually it might be stress from your job. Maybe your boss is shouting at you, or maybe you get a high stress, high demanding job. That then elevates your blood sugar because your body's like, he's going to need some sugar because, you know, he's underneath a lot of stress. And the sugar puts your immune system and weakens it, and then it's just a vicious cycle. And then overgrowth of Candida. So some natural digestive enzymes or aids would be cinnamon, pomegranate seed, tangerine fruit, ginger root, DGL, which I absolutely love, which is gastromin, black pepper fruit, Chinese cardamom. I'm not familiar with that. We talked about probiotics too. Excuse me. Blue in the face. Daily prebiotics. Okay, so these are special form of non-digested carbohydrates that feed the probiotic, aka good bacteria. So artichokes, onions, garlic. Garlic's great for circulation, blood flow, cholesterol. There's a number of things that you can eat. If you can incorporate these things into your diet, not so much bananas like all the time, but sometimes, that'd be great. A paleo diet, I do this a lot. I do a paleo diet a lot. So it's like a caveman diet where you're having fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, organic meats, and like healthy fat. So meat like beef, lamb, chicken, turkey, fish, salmon, trout, shellfish, eggs, free range, vegetables, fruit. Some people on a paleo diet will have potatoes. Most people do not. Nuts and seeds. So everything but like the good nuts, which I love, like pistachios, cashews, and peanuts, you're not really supposed to have on a paleo diet because they can grow yeast. Healthy fat like extra virgin olive oil, coconut, avocado, salt, and spices.
What about peanuts?
It's a legume, so you would have no legumes on this diet. It can grow fungus.
Okay.
Where does
I know,
squash
right?
fall?
I'm sorry?
Where does squash fall? Because I've heard it's supposed to be so good for you.
Oh, you can have squash.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have squash. I love squash.
Oh yeah, I do.
So things that you would avoid, the usual suspects: soft drinks, fruit juice, table sugar, candy, pastries, ice cream, grains of all kinds, legumes, beans, lentils, dairy, vegetable oils, soybeans, sunflower, cottonseed oil, corn oil. Grapeseed oil, which is kind of surprising. Trans fats, you never want a trans fat on any diet. Artificial sweeteners, and then highly processed food that label diet low fat food. You know, you want to avoid that stuff. You don't want to eat out of a package in the first place. So you can see the paleo diet's there on the left, and on the right is like a non-paleo diet. Now, why they have a banana over there, I don't know. But, or pineapple, you could have those, but they're just high glycemic index fruit, meaning as soon as they get in your system, they spike your blood sugar quickly. And you could still have them in moderation.
Have half a banana.
Yeah, exactly, share it. So, most of us have severely compromised gut bacteria, and this contributes to our modern epidemics of obesity, asthma, allergies, diabetes, and cancer. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. I always eat for nutrition now. I eat to get nutrition. I don't eat for fun or pleasure. Like, I spend time with my husband or my kids or my friends for those things. But food and I have an understanding. We are getting nutrients out of this. If I'm not getting nutrients out of it, I try not to make a habit out of that. So you would be surprised at how many health conditions are a result of having a leaky gut. The father of modern medicine, Hippocrates, said, all disease begins in the gut, and research has now proven him to be absolutely right. So if somebody has cancer, you're going to be thinking, man, they got a leaky gut. You know, seriously, something's not digesting like it's supposed to. Your body should be eliminating these toxins, right? And that's it. So questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? Anybody?
It's pretty hard to eliminate bread out of your diet.
You know, it is a work in progress. I think once you do it, it's doable. It is doable. I've done it. But, you know, I test myself. I don't have a gluten sensitivity. So it just depends. Like, if it's affecting you, you know, and you know it, then yeah, maybe you want to do gluten-free stuff, or you can make your own bread.
I love bread.
I love bread too. It's very tasty. It's just the ingredients. So you just have to make your own. Like, there's arrowroot powder you can use, and it's like a cornstarch thickener, and it's got a ton of nutrients in it. It's no flour. I swear, I'm going to do this around Christmas. I'm going to make brownies. I'm going to make flourless brownies and bring them in here. And you guys, I swear, I made them for Thanksgiving, and I made regular brownies. I still got those regular brownies right now. Nobody ate those because they were dead. Like, the regular brownies were like this thick. Like, and I made them the exact same for follow the ingredients. The other ones were so thin and flaky and awesome. And you know, I've been trying to perfect a brownie recipe without any flour for months now, and I finally got it. And I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. I've been making flourless pancakes. I've been making like all kind of stuff. Like, you'd be surprised what you would come up with when you look for it. And it was actually very easy, and actually awesome. You can ask Carol. She was like, "This is the best brownie I ever had." I mean, and I have no bloating. I don't feel pregnant, you know, after eating it, and I feel good. I ate, like, on Thanksgiving, I literally ate 5 brownies. I measured my stomach that day. The next day, I was the same. You know how after Thanksgiving you feel like, you know, you need to go up 3